Auction time. This is the 8P series auction. 8P01. This is green bloodstone. And I started this one on a live stream and I finished it off camera. I just thinned it down a little bit more. Thinned it down a little bit more and I sharpened it and I smoothed out some of the lumps. Yeah. I took some big flakes down here, which was good. I was a little bit afraid to thin it on the live stream, so I didn't thin it completely on the live stream. Yeah, it's too valuable to mess with it on video. And it has interesting translucency. That pattern in there is pretty cool. It's kind of swirly. So it does have translucent areas. Yeah, and it has like a crystal pocket right there. Okay, so yeah, it's bloodstone. It has little specks of red in it. All right, and it has like these areas of lighter color, kind of a light gray. I did not pick out all those little step fractures. I'll just leave that to you if you want to pick those out. I did not put notches in it or a stem because I didn't want to mess with it too much. The more you mess with these, the easier they break with these exotic materials. I was lucky just to get these thinning flakes down here that I took at the last minute this morning. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Compared to my other bloodstone points, this is pretty big. 4.5 by inch and 7/8. So it's gonna look bigger than it really is. My hands are small, so that's why I measure it and I also compare it to different things. Compared to a lighter. I made a bloodstone biface like this. It was much smaller and it looked bigger than it actually was. And when my friend got it, he said, "It's tiny." I said, "Yeah." That's why I measured them. Okay. Oh, yeah. Come on, come on. 678 grains. 676 grains, not grams. Okay. $8P02. This is Georgia Flint River heat treat. I think it's the swirl variety of that shirt. Again, I did not want to mess with notching it or putting a stem on it because it's kind of delicate. I just thinned it down as much as possible and sharpened it all the way around. It's sharp down here too, on the base and the stem area. What can you do with this? Well, you can put notches in it if you like, or you can just haft it like this to a handle and make a knife, or you can just wrap the lower part and use it as a knife just like it is, with no extra wooden handle or anything. Or just stick it in the display case, I suppose. Yeah, I did not want to notch it because I left that one for this morning as well, and I thinned it and sharpened it, and that's all I did. Yeah. I started this one off camera. I have a bunch of Flint River from Jeff Head that I found, so I've been making a bunch of stuff out of it. This was just one that I did not want to mess with it too much because it probably will break on me. Okay, this one is 4 3/4 by 1.25 inches, and I just call it a leaf-shaped blade. Yeah. Okay. I don't see any defects as far as the material goes. Sometimes these have holes. It has a very slight little bubble right there, but that's it. No major inclusions. Oh yeah, the translucency. Did I weigh this? Compared to a lighter. I don't know if I weighed it. So if I did, I apologize. I can't remember if I weighed it or not. $368 grains. 368 grains. Okay. 8P03 is another Flint River chert. This is the butterscotch type, and it's raw. It's not heat treat. Okay, the previous one was a heat treat, and it's from the same batch. But this one has more of the yellow butterscotch material than this one does. And this one, like I said, is heat treat. So you can see the colors a little bit deeper on the heat treat one. Okay, so this one's just a corner notch point. Several archaic points are of this style. I don't know if any of them were made of Flint River. But I enjoy making corner notched points, so that's what I did. And it does have some good translucency. This butterscotch stuff is very translucent. And I think I made this completely off camera. Yeah. It's got some little bitty steps. That's the usual for my points. I don't try to pick everything out. And I try to make big flakes, and sometimes they dive in, like this one here. I could have tried to pick that step fracture a little bit to reduce it, but I just left it. It's a little bit of a sharp edge on there, so just be aware of that. These steps and other things, these undetached flakes, they have little sharp edges, so just be aware of that. Okay, it is sharp all the way around also, and I did try to thin it as much as possible. Okay. This stuff thins pretty well, this raw Flint River, once you get used to it. It can be temperamental and it can have defects in the material, but this one was okay. 4 3/8 by 1 7/8 compared to a lighter. And let's weigh it. $486 grains. $8P04. This one is Knife River, and I put some mineral oil in the notches because it got all crushy down in the notches. So when I put mineral oil down in there, it gets rid of that white powdery look. Yeah. In this case, the powdery look isn't really white. It's kind of like a golden color. Anyway, this is Knife River Flint from South Dakota. And it's in the style of a... What is it? Hold on. I need to get something for the background. This is in the style of a clay type point. Okay. It's a type of point they call a clay, but it has almost like a hardened style stem. Or a, maybe not a hardened, but maybe a Lost Lake style stem. So I don't know. I'm going to call this a clay style point anyways, even though the stem might be, resemble another type. I just put new batteries in that thing. So yeah, Knife River Flint from South Dakota. Translucent. Something wrong with my flashlight. I just put new batteries, but still doesn't work. I tried to thin that as much as possible. It was a little bit steppy, as you can tell. I had some issues with the steppiness, but right here in the middle of the widest part is the most difficult to clear out. So I tried clearing it out with a couple big flakes and it didn't reach. That's the problem. I tried another flake on this side from somewhere, and I almost got everything cleared out. Except it dived. All right. Yeah, a lot of people like the way this stuff naps. It does nap pretty good, but I've had other, well, I've napped other flints in church that nap a little bit better than this, but it's still not bad. As long as there isn't any defects in the material, it naps pretty good. And it sharpens up really nice. And this is not a heat treat, this is raw. Okay. So did I measure it yet? 3 15/16, almost 4 inches by 2 1/8, almost 2 1/8. Across the widest part on the barbs. And compared to a lighter. And let's weigh it. $410 grains. 410 grains. A little bit of a closer look. Again, little step fractures, little fingernail, what they call fingernail step fractures. This type of sharpening is where I just pick the edge and remove all the dull spots. I'm not that persnickety about it. I'll let you know when I've thinned the edge a lot. I'll let you know. This is just the regular picked edge, like all of these in this auction. They're all picked, like in most of my auctions. Yeah, I'll let you know if I tried to thin it down really, really thin. I have tried that before, but it takes time to get the edge really, really thin. Yeah. Okay. $8P05. This is another Knife River Flint point, but the Knife River Flint on this one is a little bit more dense, a little bit tougher, and heavier, and not as translucent. See that? Down here. Of course, because of the thickness too, but still, it's less translucent than other Knife River Flint pieces. Okay. Like this one, it's pretty thick, but you can see through it pretty easily. Okay. This one is thicker than the other one, but you should be able to see very well. But like I said, it's thicker in shape. The Knife River is tougher and more dense than some of the other stuff I've worked, but it still thins down easily once you get a good convexity on it. Yeah. If you don't have a good convexity and if you don't grind the edge a lot, you'll get step fractures. So whenever you see a little mistake, that's probably because I did not prepare the edge very well. This one needs a lot of edge grinding. This type of Knife River Flint from South Dakota is very dense and tough. It's not a heat treat. Okay. Why do I mention that? Because sometimes people will heat treat the Knife River Flint to make it more glossy and easier to nap. So yeah, I try to get it as thin as possible. 3.5 by 1 7/8 compared to a lighter. And the weight. 312 grains. $8P06. This is an attempt to get back into doing Scott's Bluffs, and this is Knife River Flint. Yep, very translucent. This is thick. relatively speaking, but it's still very translucent. Yeah. Okay. Now I'll give you a close-up look. This is in the Scottsbluff style. This side looks better, I think, than this side. Well, I don't know. It's about the same. It does not have a diamond cross-section, but a lot of these Scottsbluffs don't have a, perfect diamond cross-section. They end up being kind of thick, which is okay for strength. Yeah, actually it's better to be thick in the middle with a median ridge. That's the strongest point configuration if you want strength. All right. Anyway, I did sharpen it all the way around. It is dulled down here though on the stem. I'm getting back into doing some of these. I'm trying to, develop a technique where I can run flakes consistently without having to spend too much time on the preform. I did not spend much time on this preform, and it kind of shows because these flakes look a little bit too random. Yeah, when you don't spend a lot of time on the preform, you have to run flakes where there's lumps, and the lumps are, in chaotic places unless you make the preform perfect, so to speak. And this preform for this one was not perfect. All right. I did measure it or not. Let's see, we'll do one thing at a time. Lighter compared to a lighter. Let's see. Yeah. 3 5/8 by inch exactly. $242 grains. $8P07. Surprise, surprise, another Knife River Flint point out of dense Knife River Flint. It's not the really translucent type. See that? It has some translucency, like right there on this little ear. It has a little crystal pocket, but that's the most translucent or transparent part of the whole thing, and it's thin. It's very thin. It's probably thinner than the Scottsbluff. Maybe the same, but the translucencies between these two Knife River Flint pieces is very different. Okay. The last batch that Marty sent me had a mix of different types of Knife River Flint, and I'm still going to nap the clearer stuff. There is some Knife River Flint that is a lighter, much lighter color, almost like a... it's even lighter than beer bottle glass as far as color goes. It's kind of smoky golden color. I'm looking at this with no. It's more clear than the Flint River. All right. So what is this style? This is like an Elko style. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it an Elko style point. But it's just it's just whatever it ended up as. I just went with the flow on this one. It ended up being a short but wide preform, so I said, yeah, let's try for an Elko type. Yeah. It was difficult to nap. This stuff was tough. Yeah. This is very dense also. Hard and dense, but it sharpens up well. Yeah, it sharpens up very well. And there's no mineral oil on this one. Sometimes I'll put mineral oil on it now. I've been doing that past couple auctions, especially in the bottoms of the notches. But these notches actually punched out pretty well. I did use a combination of the Notch-O-Matic, which is a vertical punch, and regular regular pressure flaker. Yeah. These actually ended up being punched out nicely with no crushing on the bottom of the notches. Okay, let's see. Compare it to a lighter. The length of it is 2 3/8. The width is a little bit shy of 1 3/4. It's like 11/16. Yeah. I like this design. And I like this size of point too. It's in that little dark point. I like this size, not those big long ones. Mainly because the big long ones tend to snap. And this one is not perfectly symmetrical. So I said, oh, it's all right. Yeah, so I went with the flow on this one. I didn't try to make it perfect. Okay. $8P08. This one is a Texas chert that's raw. I think I might have started this piece, or I might have done this piece on a live stream. As far as the biface, I think I did the biface for this on a live stream. Yeah, and it ended up being a Frio style point. Frio. Frio style point. It is raw Texas chert. Pedernales type chert from Central Texas. I tried to get as thin as possible without taking too many chances. It did start to get steppy in the middle, though, as usual. Yeah, I'm not going to try to make these perfect in the middle because I might as well just grind it and do a flake over grind if I want to do that kind of perfection. And I'm not into the flake over grind. I do like the way the flake over grind looks. But in order for me to get exact flakes, well, how should I say this? Flakes are never exact. In order for me to run flakes that don't have little glitches like that, I'd have to have a very well-shaped preform. And it's almost impossible to get a well-shaped preform just with random flaking. It's best just to grind it. And then you can flake it with minimal little glitches. You can minimize the glitches if you grind it as in flake over grind. All right, so this one is translucent. It has some pockets of clear. Yeah. It's got, I don't know what that is. It's got some inclusions or something that cause the light to shine through very, very well. Like they're almost clear in some spots. Let's see. This one is 3 3/4 by 1 5/8 compared to a lighter. It's already dark here, so that's why the lighting is a little bit off. I can't see the bottom of the lighter. And no matter how many lights I stick in the studio, I still can't get perfect lighting. Okay, so let's weigh this. .316 grains, or 314. Okay. 8P09. This is another Texas raw chert. I don't know where this is from, but it's a Central Texas chert. I did start this on a live stream. This particular biface, I believe I did do it on a live stream. It napped better than I thought it would, right? On a live stream, I tried to remove as much of this very grainy side as possible and tried to keep a lot of this darker area. This darker stuff naps better than this grainy stuff. But surprisingly, it ended up being very nappable all the way around. And I thought I was going to have trouble with these notches, but I didn't. So that was surprising for a raw piece of Texas mystery chert. Basically, it's a mystery chert because I don't know exactly where it came from. See, it has this unusual quality, or it has these little speckles in it. I think I have a couple of artifacts made of this material in my personal collection. Yeah, it worked out well. I was surprised. I was able to clean out the middle of this one. This one had a bunch of crackly stuff in the middle, and I knocked off, I think this was a last flake right through here, and it worked out well. There is still a lump there, though, but that's okay. On all the points in this auction, I tried to thin them all down as much as possible. And still, back off just a little bit so I don't have to worry about the breakage. The thinner I tend to go, the more I break, right? And I'll have a lot of broken bifaces. But I did not want to have that many this time around. Although there are some coming up. I do have a box of broken bifaces. Okay, so what type is this? This looks like a clay style point as well. But it could be, Lost Lake, or I don't know. It's similar to other styles. But I'm calling all these clay style points. Yeah. All right, let's see. I think I measured it. I did not compare it to a lighter. I'll measure it again because I can't remember if I measured the complete length and width. 3 7/8, 2 1/4. .504 grains, 504 grains, 504. One more close look. Okay. All right, this one's going to be tricky. This is broken bifaces, right? Some of it's going to be Sal's stuff and some of it's my stuff. It's all going to be in the same box, though. Okay. 8P10 is a box of broken bifaces. These are Sal's broken bifaces that I just got in a gift box from him. Everything here on the left is Sal's. Everything here on the right is mine from this past week. Now, I'm going to try to remember what these are. This one is Knife River Flint. Okay. This one is Flint Ridge. It does have some translucency to it. I think it is a heat treat, otherwise it can't be napped very well. It has some crystal pockets. You can see how it kind of sparkles in these little pockets of crystals. It's very brittle, okay, so just be aware. It's not for beginners. I think Sal said this was rainbow obsidian, but you probably won't be able to see the rainbowness unless it's in the sun. Yeah, I don't think I can show it here. Okay. This one is Texas chert, looks like, and he blew out one of these notches. What style is this? Let's see. It's like you find these in the plains and into Texas. The Great Plains, Southern Great Plains. Washita. I think this is called a Washita. And then this is a broken dacite, buttery dacite point. And this is a tough amoeba chert, very tough, raw piece of amoeba chert. He had these labeled, okay, when he sent them to me. All right. Let's put these over here so I don't drop anything on top of them. All right, these are mine here from this past week. There's only one, no, there's two broken pieces in here. This one is a buttery dacite obsidian type stuff. My fault. There's no defects in it. I just hit it too hard. What's the length? It would have been 3.5. Just to give you an idea of how long these are. From Sal, this one was 2 3/8. I should just get the lighter out. This one of Sal's points to, so you can see how long this would have been. Okay, the other broken piece in here is Flint River from Georgia. Flint River Butterscotch. Flint River Chert from Georgia. Yeah, translucent. Another Flint River Chert, but this one is not broken. This is a biface. All right, so I got the broken ones out of the way. What is the measurement on this? This piece is 2 inches at 2 3/8. These are all bifaces, what's left. Let's see. Okay, so this one is Flint River from Georgia, Flint River Butterscotch Raw. Knife River Flint from South Dakota. Another Knife River Flint from South Dakota. This is a Texas chert, high grade, but it can be tricky. It likes to dive in. It likes to be crunchy and a little bit steppy. And there's different consistencies. This lighter color naps differently than a darker color. This one is translucent. Okay. The Knife River, as you know, is translucent. It's not the darker variety. Although this one is, darker than that one, but you can still see through it pretty well. This is a Texas chert similar to Georgetown. And another Texas chert similar to Georgetown. I think these two are from the same batch of Road Rock that I called Road Rock, but I did pay for this stuff. But I didn't like the way they were. I didn't like the way they were napping because they nap too much like Georgetown, and I got burnt out on napping Georgetown, so I don't work it very much anymore. Anyway, I try to get it as thin as possible and as wide as possible. But I didn't like the way they were turning out. This one also has a crack in it right here. I cracked it right there. It doesn't go all the way through. Anyway. This lighter is like 3 inches and some odd. Let's see. Yeah, 3 1/8 inches. The lighter is 3 1/8 inches long. Just to give you an idea how long these pieces are, without taking forever to measure all these. Okay. I was going to make some points out of these 4, but I ran out of time. Okay. Did I show how thin this was? All right. I'll just show you how thin these are. I did do some work on that one. Sal sent it to me, but I took some flakes off of this and tried to thin it down as much as I can. I think I did some of that on video. But this one I did off camera. It's a very odd piece of Knife River in that it doesn't nap very easily. Yeah, it's tough. It's got a lot of inclusions in it. Some people like this, but I've seen this type of Knife River heat treated, and it heat treats very well. Yeah, the stuff that's got lots of inclusions and it's a little bit tough to nap, you heat treat this. I think 400 degrees would be okay for 4 hours, although I could be wrong. It might need more time or more heat, I don't know. Anyway, I've seen this type of stuff heat treated. It works well. This one was very crunchy. This is a low grade Knife River, although it does have an interesting pattern if you can get something out of it. As far as translucency, it has an interesting translucency pattern. I don't know what to call it. Okay. And you all know what Flint River from Georgia looks like. It's a coastal plains type chert. All right. These are all raw here in this view, except this one, I think. No, I don't remember. No, I think this one is raw too. Yeah, these are all raw pieces. The only thing that's heat treated in this whole batch, I believe, is maybe these two. Two from Sal. I think that's a heat treat Knife River. I don't know. And that's a heat treat Flint Ridge. Right, so all that stuff is in the same batch. So all that stuff and this is 8P10. Okay. Okay. The the rules for the auction are in the description box. And if you don't know how these auctions work, if you're new, just look at one of my other auction videos and then look in the comment section. The comment section is where you bid. And if you win, at the end of the auction, I declare a winner at 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you win and you're new and I don't have any of your information, you need to email me at jackcrafty2@gmail.com so that we can make payment arrangements and get your address and all that. Okay? I hope you guys had a nice weekend and good luck.